Hi there. So I'm going to show you how I was able to design and build all the pages of the Marketing Action website in one weekend, right? So this is a bunch of pages from the home page to an academy page, a resource page, a GTM page, a consulting page, all the page structure up to the footer, the header, and every other thing that goes inside. The first thing I did was I went to define what the structure of the homepage will look like and all of the other pages, right? So you will see the homepage header, title and description, hero, all the way down to the footer with all the associated links that should go inside. So this is what the homepage is, right? And the homepage, the style guide, the logo files, and all of that is what I would put into all of these vibe coding websites or web app tools like Gemini, Google Gemini with AI Studio, Lovable, Bolt, Replit, V0 by Vercel. So these five tools, there's a bunch more, but these are the ones I'm going to show you. So I'm using a prompt that is the same across all of the other places, right? So I'm going to, be uploading a bunch of files so that it has enough content to work with. So the homepage style guide, the logo, and my image is what I'm going to, put here, and I'm going to give it this prompt to build the homepage with the structure, logo, and style guide already defined here. So let's see if it understands what I want. So for bolts, I'm not sure why I'm unable to. Okay, I didn't give it a prompt, right? So yeah, go on and build. Same with Replit. Go on and build V0. Go on and build, right? What I'm going to do is that the way I went about this actually was that I developed a custom GPT prompt on ChatGPT, which is a vibe coding assistant, just to see if I could accomplish the same outcomes on ChatGPT vibe coding, right? So let me show you what the full assistant actually looks like on my screen. This is my vibe code assistant. I gave it a role that is going to help me, a non-technical person, to develop and build website and explain the reasoning behind all of these things, right? So this is my assistant. What I'm going to do is that I am going to give it the same prompt, create the MIA home page, and I'm going to tell it to. So because So I'm going to ask for HTML and CSS code because I'm expecting a static site. Oh, the mistake I've made here now is that I have not provided any document. So I'm going to start this all over again. And I'm going to, so whilst I'm going to run this whilst the other, um, you know, the other apps are loading the website or the web page that is going to give us, right? So this is the homepage and the style guide, and I'm going to add the logo as well. So the same thing is what I give ChatGPT. I give every other tool, and I'm going to see who is going to perform the best, right? So this is it. Let's go and check out how they're coming up. Lovable is building. I have to upgrade to use bolts because I've done something before. So I'm going to show you what he actually came up with the last time I decided to build with bolts. Let me see my previous. Okay. Okay, let's go back to homepage. Um, V0, work in progress, and these are the actual sites. All right. So ChatGPT is writing HTML and CSS for me, and we're going to see if it's going to give me the correct outputs. I mean, I do need to move a few things around, like assets, MIA logo, assets, James headshots. Okay, so this was what Bolt came up with at the time I did this, right? and it's not very great, right? Because it's left aligning the hero section when it should actually have it full centered, right? This is bold. Replit is building V0. V0 is completed, right? So this is the output from V0. Newsletter Academy jobs and consulting. How to work with my emailers ecosystem. It actually did get my image here, so this is great. This is great. I'm not sure how to see previous files, but okay. Page not found. Interesting. Let me show you what it came up with the last time I ran this prompt. So going back, and then Lovable is loading. Still working. So one thing I realized from all of the vibe code tools is that they all build in React, right? So you will see TypeScript file structures here, TSS, for all of the files that they build and they work with, right? So for someone like me that is non-tech, well, I'm actually getting more technical now. I'm learning like HTML and CSS, so I understand those structures. So I prefer a static marketing site that is built based on those codes, and not React, at least for now, because I cannot really work with React and I cannot edit it. So this is what Replit came up with the last time, and this is actually what it looks like. It's not bad. That's Replit. This is V0. Bolts. This is bolts. Not great. And then we have Lovable. So for some reason, Lovable decided to go with this structure. Put my face, and this is not even a typical homepage. So let's go back to some of the projects that Lovable has built for me for this exact same prompt, right? So this is the last time I ran this code with Lovable. It did come up with something nicer than the current one, right? It was quite close to even the footer side of it, the social links and the header, right? And it's if you click on these things, they actually take you to the right pages, right? Correct pages for all of this. Now, Google AI Studio is taking a bit of time to load, but I've run this prompt many times already. So, okay, we'll have code from ChatGPT. So what I'm going to do now is show you exactly how I was able to develop the site. So with ChatGPT code, I'm going to open Visual Studio Code. I can't find it on my, but I'm going to open it here. And I'm going to create a new file, right? And I'm going to call it index.html. And I'm going to drop this in downloads, and I'm going to create a file here, and I'm going to paste everything. I'm going to save it. And the next thing I'm going to do is to put this in the folder, right? So I'm going to create a new folder and call it test website, because I want to run, I want to host this locally and see what it looks like. Going back to ChatGPT, it is giving me the HTML. So I'm going to look for the CSS now. This is the CSS code, which is the style. The HTML is basically the page itself, the text. And CSS is the style and structure in like design wise of that page. So I'm going to go back to VS Code and create another file. I'm going to open it and call it styles.css. And I'm going to save it in the test website folder. And I'm going to save this as well. So the next thing I'm going to do now is for me to launch the HTML and CSS from ChatGPT. Okay, Google AI is still working. I'm going to use some of the shortcuts I created for GitHub. So I do have, I use the command center, the terminal, right, for CLI code that connects. So let me show you what that looks like. I'm hosting my site on GitHub. All of the files and the repository, is being hosted on GitHub. And initially, I was publishing the pages via GitHub Pages, right? So if you click on it, it's actually going to take you to the GitHub repo, which is still everything here. But I mean, it's not going to show right now because it's no longer being hosted on GitHub. It's been hosted on Netlify, right? Yeah, log in. You see that the site is hosted on the Netlify, and its host is being deployed from GitHub. So for me to publish changes to my site, I use the terminal, right? So what I will do is, I have shortcuts to open my directories and do a bunch of things. So let me leave this particular terminal window and come back to right. So if I have any new updates to make, I'm gonna like check the status of it. Now there's nothing to update, but if there was, I would commit to Git, right? And then I will push, right? So this is what devs would typically do with code and all of that, but we can also do it ourselves. So what I'm going to do now is I want to host the version of the site that ChatGPT gave me. So what I'm going to do is open a new folder, open a new terminal at this particular folder, right? So that I can run my code. So what I want to do first is run a Python code that allows me to create a local HTTP server on my browser. So what I'm going to do now is open the local host, sorry, hell host. It's giving me styles the CSS. I'm not sure why the problem. Okay, the only thing I have here is styles, right? I didn't add the HTML, so I'm going to redo this. And this is ChatGPT's version of my website, right? It didn't get the alignment for this part, but it's not terrible. And it actually gives me this, pick the layer that matches your goal, and you see how the scroll is matching the sticky layer and the rest is moving. This is quite interesting. So there's something I should actually do if I wanted to do more in this code. I need to find the image files and also like add them to this folder. So it's looking for assets MIA logo.png and assets James headshot.png. So let's see if I can fix those things inside and see what the ChatGPT version is. Assets, yeah. So I'm gonna copy these assets and put it in the test website page, and let's see if it is going to work now. This is the local host. Assets James dash headshots MIA dash logo. Okay, the name is not correct, so let me see. Let's see if it works now. Well, it's not like I'm actually building the proper site. So this is ChatGPT's version of it. The one we're waiting for now is Google. There was an error, so this did not load the site. But I can show you some of the other apps that I've built with Google AI Studio and Gemini. But maybe we'll wait a bit for this to load properly so we can see what the output is from AI Studio. So I'm going to jump to a new chat, and we're going to look at previous versions of my history. So build my apps. Okay, so this was one of the versions that were created from Google AI Studio. There's a bunch of other things I've actually created with Google AI Studio that are actually much better than what it came up with for marketing action. Right. For instance, look at this. Look at this beauty. Right. Let me go back to something. Let's go back. Let's look at agent readiness audit or the or one more that I actually like, which is yeah. So that is okay. This has come up, but it's not great. So, but yeah, this is basically me just showing you how you can code or vibe code different stuff, right, with all of these different tools. But the problem is that you need to still be a proper software engineer or work with a software engineer or web developer, if you want to get production ready outputs like my website right now, because I had to use knowledge of code to get this site up to this point, even if this is ChatGPT giving me this version. And mostly what I got was I would download the different versions from all of these other tools and put it in ChatGPT and ask it to give me HTML and CSS, and I continue to iterate on that until I got the output that I really want from this, right? So I hope this helps, and I'll see you